Namaste. Welcome back to Waking Up with Mindful Serenity Yoga. And we're going to continue with our little exercise of pulling a concept from the jar and speaking on that concept for 4 minutes or around 4 minutes. My timing might be off. I'm no longer in possession of my watch, so I have a hard time maintaining my time. Time means so little to me these days. Time goes by and I'm not even aware that much or that expanse of time has gone by. So forgive me. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the watch to make sure, on the clock on my computer to make sure that I'm not speaking too much over my time. So the concept I pulled out, and we'll first of all begin by taking a deep breath to settle into the parasympathetic system, which is your rest and digest system, the system that allows us to just think clearly and be calm, cool, and collected. Ego likes to stay in the sympathetic system and enjoys that busy ride, I guess. For most of us, that becomes very problematic. So by taking one deep breath, we anchor ourselves back down into our bodies, into the moment, into the parasympathetic system, and a little bit away from ego and its mischievous doings. So what I've pulled out today is yoga. I pulled out the term yoga. Wow, that's a big one. What is yoga? Well, yoga, of course, is union. Yoke, it means to unify, union. And when we talk about yoga, we are talking about the oneness. And people have a really hard time with that term because, especially in Western cultures, we are very conditioned to believe that we are separate little entities, separated by our body lines, separated by our personalities, and we're so focused on those personalities and think it's so wonderful that they're so unique, and this is my personality, this is who I am, I'm going to express it this way, this is who you are, you should express it this way, you should follow that dream of yours to make your personality bigger and better, and I should follow my dreams and my hopes and my desires to build this personality up. But the personality is not who we are, and the body is not who we are. We are in it. It is a part of who we are. And the mind, which consists of both the intellectual and personal mind and the very personal mind that we use for ego's benefit, are not who we are as well. So our minds, that part of our mind that we identify as me, is not who we are. And many of us are just human beings that call ourselves me, or you call yourself you, whatever. We call ourselves by our proper names and by this title, me, thinking that's who we are. We live separately. You're separated from me. I'm not you. You're not me. You're unique. I'm unique. And we want to build those personalities up into protective shells almost that protect the vulnerable parts of us. The more separated we are in this world, the more vulnerable we are, and the more we need to defend and protect ourselves, do we not? So we use this personality, and I think Dr. Sumoto refers to it as the protective personality, to protect these fragile, vulnerable selves we think we are as separate beings. That being said, we are not separate. We just identified as separate beings because we took this amazing consciousness and we narrowed it down on the meanness of our experience. Okay? The drama that me is going through. Yoga is a return to the oneness. It's a return to pulling away from this identification and this focus on this meanness to who we really are at the deepest level. We have to remember that these me's are concepts we created to help us feel protected and secure when we came down to earth. And I know came down to earth, you say, it's going to be woo-woo again. But when we incarnated into these forms, we had to make sense of the world. We forgot who we were as the oneness, and we have somehow become identified as separate entities. We are not separate entities. We are one. And yoga reminds us of that. Yoga is not only a practice, it's a science of the mind to help the mind become reintegrated from its fragmentation of little personal mind and the big mind. It takes us out of that duality and back into the essence of who we really are, which is one. This oneness, this consciousness, this pure awareness from which I am experiencing this human I call me go through these things. This human experience, her thoughts, her emotions, her life events, her, who identifies as a certain personality with certain roles and character traits and whatnot, gets so lost in that. There is something within me that identifies, that sees past all those false identities to what is real, to the suchness of everything, to the oneness of everything. And it's a matter of pulling back from those distractions of who I think I am and falling back into who I really am. And that is what yoga is. Yoga brings us back to the truth of who we really are. And that truth is existence, okay? Consciousness and bliss. Satchitananda. And that Satchitananda is the basis of yoga. It's a science, but instead, and the laboratory is the laboratory of the mind. And the ancient rishis who settled into caves for years on end, exploring this vast internal universe, have discovered what yoga really is. The unity, the connection, the oneness of all. We're just living in an illusion that we're separate. And yoga helps us remind us, wake us up from that illusion and that dream state to the reality of who we truly are. Well, that's what I have to say about yoga. I know I went over my time again. Forgive me. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.